probably the biggest matchup of this young season. And the irony was, we've had such flowing basketball the first month of the season because of the new rules. They're allowing the physicality, right? And then all of a sudden last night at the Barclays Center, the refs wanted to get involved. And that first half was kind of ugly. And the announcers were saying of how intense it was. It was a playoff-like atmosphere. I buy a little bit into that. But it was funny because I had forgotten how easy it is to hate James Harden when you're truly rooting against him. Because as a Warrior fan, right, the last 2 years, it's kind of been hard to really care if we win because it didn't matter. Now all of a sudden we find ourselves back contenders and this shit matters, right? So I'm like, damn, Harden, man, he's so hard to like. That's the bottom line, the way he plays, right? But what you see with Brooklyn, I thought that was super annoying is Blake Griffin, Patty Mills, James Harden, they're all A1 floppers. And defensively, what you were seeing is because they know they're not good defenders and they don't have any rim protection, whenever someone would turn the corner or get downhill on them, they just flopped. They weren't going to chest up and try to show any resistance. They were just going to flop because it was like, why try? I'm about to get blammed on. I'm about to give up a basket. And it worked for them for the most part in the first half of that game. Second quarter, the game's kind of lingering. The Warriors offense kind of struggling. Steph's in foul trouble. We had everybody in foul trouble because of these flops. Otto Porter came in and kind of steadied the ship, man. I thought Otto Porter showed some juice on a big stage. It was a big game, even though it was regular season, right? And then Andrew Wiggins showed up. Andrew Wiggins understood the moment in the stage. He was aware. He read the room, right? He is Kevin Durant's replacement. And the funny thing is, this was probably one of the bigger games Andrew Wiggins has played in the NBA. He had one playoff series that no one was really paying attention to, right? So this was a big game. And in that second quarter, he showed up. And I think what we've seen happen is the Vac situation with Wiggins has bonded him with the team, right? He realized he had the chance to be a part of something bigger. It wasn't just about him. And he went and he did it for the team. They've embraced him for it. And this was kind of like a crossroads, a turning point in his career. Now he's a part of something. It matters. And we're going to really find out who Andrew Wiggins is this season. Is he going to be a dog night in and night out? No. We know he's not, right? But is he going to show up when it matters most? That's what we're going to find out this year. And last night, when it mattered in that game, he showed up in that second quarter and gave us the juice. We can talk about Steph, KD, the fireworks and all that, but ultimately the star of the game really was Steve Kerr and his defense, right? This triangle and two, this box and one, whatever you want to call it, it was kind of dynamic, right? But you just wonder if Kerr has kind of given teams the blueprint now against this Nets team. To be fair, Joe Harris wasn't there, right? And I think Joe Harris would have changed that, right? And I don't think they would have been able to stay in that triangle and two as long as they did. But let's keep it real. It had to have burned KD's soul to hear that crowd chanting for Steph Curry and oohing and awing at the Barclays Center. Wherever you go, there you are, Kevin Durant, right? And maybe it helped KD understand it was never the Warrior fans or local media that was trying to slight Kevin Durant's greatness when he was a Warrior. It was Steph. Steph's star shined so bright that even the great Kevin Durant was in the shadows. Because it doesn't matter if it was in Oakland, Chase Center, or Brooklyn. Steph's the bigger star. It is what it is. Look, and I saw this picture of Drake and Kanye together. It's kind of big news in the hip hop world. They've been kind of beefing behind the scenes and all that. And I was thinking, KD is the basketball Drake, right? He is the most prolific hit maker we have ever seen. It's easy for him. He wakes up and he makes hits. He wakes up and he scores 30, right? And then Steph, he's kind of like Kanye, right? Where he may not have as many albums or hits, but you'll remember his longer. His impact and influence is greater. I don't know, maybe I'm reaching with the hip hop terminology here, but I mean, look, they're both two GOATs, but that was the storyline last night. And the reality of the situation is we tapped them motherfuckers, right? If this was if this was a fight, they tapped. Harden and KD and Steve Nash in that third quarter, they tapped out. They didn't want any parts of the rest of that game. And so let me ask you, when was the last time you were this hyped for a win? Well, let me tell you, it was Game 6 in Houston. It was Game 6 in Houston. Now, some of you may have pointed to maybe the last win in that finals matchup with Toronto, but that Game 6 win in Houston, I got a video on YouTube. Go look that one up, man. That was an instant reaction one. That was epic. But yeah, man, I understand Brooklyn not nearly at full strength, but neither were the Warriors. It was clearly a statement win. Steph sitting clearly atop the MVP ladder at this point. And I think the real star of the game was Steve Kerr and his game planning and the way the Warriors executed it. But you could tell it meant more to the Warriors. It meant more to the Warriors. They went out, they got it done.